Welcome to the dark side of Beast Rider. I'm your host, Ryan Sakamoto. Today, we have the honor of sitting down with my guy, Case Keefer. He is a beat writer for the Las Vegas Sun. Before we go ahead and get started, you guys can follow him. It's in the description box below on Twitter. And he's really good at basically, you guys know him, the film guy. This guy is the betting analysis guy. This guy's really good at his stuff. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, he is on point with this stuff. And also with the Raider content. Like, we have player evaluations. We talk about it all the time. And so we're going to bring him in. Case Keefer of Las Vegas Sun. Case.
How's it going? I don't know about an honor, but I appreciate it. I enjoyed the intro. Dating myself, but I think I've lived in Las Vegas 14 years now, longer than anywhere else. But the thing I miss the most about my past life in the Midwest and the South are the thunderstorms. I missed the thunder and lightning, so I got a little bit of it beast style for the last couple minutes waiting to jump on. So thanks for having me as always.
No, thank you for hopping on. No, it's really cool because everyone likes to come to the DOB here on YouTube, but I mean, it's just me. So like, I think it's good to get another beat writer perspective. And there's a lot of people in here who, I mean, there's people out there who pretend that they're beat writers. And so like, people are like, who's really there? And so if you notice, like, that's why I was like, oh no, these people are the ones that are there reporting it. Like, so there's a lot of catfishing going on, a lot of people making fake profiles of other people. So it's really, it's a cluster F. Really. But Case, you have been a beat writer for many years, right? Here in Las Vegas, for the Raiders, right? You started in was it during COVID?
Yeah, I mean, I covered a lot of different stuff. Like I said, I've been here for 14 years now, and all at the same company. It's gone well for me. I started as an intern. I'm now technically our sports editor at Greenspun Media. We have a lot of things. You're probably known best for Las Vegas Sun, which, yes, a daily newspaper. We still print Las Vegas Weekly magazine that we put out every week that has a sports section that I'm in charge of. Some other stuff, too, that I don't have as much of a hand in. Vegas Magazine, if you're ever visiting Vegas, that's probably in your hotel room. So we have a lot of different publications. So yeah, I'm kind of in charge of a lot of the sports, but I still do a lot of writing too. We don't have a giant staff like some classic newspaper. So I do a lot of writing in addition to being the quote unquote boss. I don't think of myself like that, but and most of that is with the Raiders. I think football is my background, still my favorite sport. So when the Raiders moved here, I kind of took that over as our primary Raiders writer. And yeah, it's been since 2020 now. I've been around the team, so I don't have a lot of maybe as much institutional knowledge as some lifelong Raiders fans, but I've been around basically every day for the last 3 or 4 years now, and it's been a fun ride. Always something with the Raiders, and looking forward to getting going for another season.
Don't sell yourself short, Case. We're making the case for Case Keefer, man. No, you really bring solid insight. And like, as the draft unfolded, the first pick, we're just gonna not sugarcoat anything. We talked about Tyree Wilson, and like, honestly, I already put it out there. The Beast Receipt's already out there. I'm 50-50 on it. Like, I see why they drafted him. We talked about the high ceiling that he is, and he can end up being the league leader in terms of rookie production, in terms of sacks, but I'm not sold on him as base downs. What do you see from Tyree Wilson? I do like him. Now, that's not to say I don't like him. I gave him a grade of a C. So, like, I did that because I see why they drafted him. I see the potential. I don't have a strong conviction on what I saw from evaluating the game film. What did you see when you watched film, and then also when they picked him at 7?
Yeah, I think that's really fair. I wish I didn't sound like a fence writer, came firing in here with some hot take, and maybe in an alternate world I did, where it sounded like they really wanted Paris Johnson. Maybe I had stronger feelings on that, or stronger feelings even if they took a cornerback. But Tyree Wilson, honestly, I get it. I get why they're so attracted to him. You just look, all you need to do is look at the guy. You don't even need to see what he can, what he's done on the field or his combine numbers to see like his potential is going to be through the roof. If they hit, it would really hit. I'm always going to be give a thumbs up for going edge rusher at 7. I think that they showed a really good, positional value wise. I think they did well, which is more that can be said for a lot of past regimes. So I can't hate on him for that. That being said, I just don't think the guy had the college production to really get me excited about him. I mean, you look at his numbers, and he did have a really good year this past year before getting hurt, but it's not really to the level of what you would hope you would get in a top 10 guy. If you use that from predictive measures going forward, it looks like he probably underachieved from his draft position. That being said, everyone's different. He seems like a hardworking kid. Like, he's really excited to be here. Seems like a good guy. Maybe they hit on him and it's an absolute steal. But, if I'm taking a guy at 7 like that, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more out of him collegiately. So I think a C is fair. Great positional wise. Good potential, but really, I don't think it's all clicked yet for him.
So what grade would you give him? A? I mean, I don't like the plus minus thing. Just A, B, C, or D, or F.
I swear I'm not just copying you. I think I'd go with C. I think anything below C is a little harsh, but anything above C is like really overstating what my expectations are, or just how high I am on him. So I think right in the middle is fair.
Well, me, you, and Adam, when the pick was made, we all looked at each other like, "Are you serious?" Like, not "Are you serious?" as if like we know better than them. It's just like I just felt like there was better value to be had. Like, I was all in on Paris Johnson the day of the draft. I was like, man, they really want this guy if Devin Wilson's off the board. But then I can see why. Like you said, I'm going to echo your analysis here because you made a great point. You said edge rusher was a good premium positional need, and it kind of created a perfect storm where need meets best player available at the position of the need. Does that make sense? So, like, in their eyes, they don't care what you think. They don't care what I think. They don't care what anyone else thinks. They're going to do what they feel is the best long-term solution because Chandler Jones is on his way out. I mean, I think it's safe to say that he's not going to be there much longer because of his age, longer in the tooth there. So, I'm with you. I mean, I think we both agreed that it was a C. So yeah. Now watch us both be wrong and he becomes an A.
Hey, we'll see. I mean, we left a little bit room for error there, a little wiggle room by saying like this guy does have a lot of potential. It would not shock me if he's an A, but it also wouldn't shock me if he's an F, just to be honest. That's just the way it is for me.
Right. No, absolutely. And I think it's just fun, right? Like I always, call them beast receipts. I like holding myself accountable, right or wrong. So it's just good. I think it's fun that we put our analysis in real time on the line. Okay, so the Raiders draft came and gone. What are your initial thoughts on how it unfolded as a whole?
No gigantic surprises. I guess most of the positions you thought they'd go after, they went after and ultimately ended up getting. Maybe some of the orders was a little bit surprising. I did some radio spots going into day 2, and I did leave a little room again for error, but I said I'd be shocked if they didn't take a cornerback by the end of the 3rd round, and of course they didn't end up taking one. If they did take one early in the 4th, I think that kind of concerns me. I think they probably needed a higher end guy in the defensive backfield, so that was a little bit of a surprise. And also, I might be in the minority, but I didn't really think they super needed to address offensive line. I thought the offensive line performed pretty well last year, and I think there's room for growth, still young. I think they could be better next year. However, I was a little surprised when you read all the reports and you kind of get an idea from being around. I do think they would have loved Paris Johnson. I think he was super high on their board. That would have been the pick at 7 if he fell there. They loved him. Then, of course, you read the Peter King story from inside the draft room. They loved the Oklahoma lineman, too, I believe, whose name I'm blanking on. So they loved these linemen so much. It's a surprise they missed out on them and then didn't take one the entire rest of the draft. Now, again, to me, I'm not really concerned. I think the line is honestly a little underrated at this point. It can be fine as is, but I'm a little surprised they were like so keyed in on a couple first-round talents, and I guess the draft just didn't fall. They never took a single one the rest of the way.
Yeah, I always went the offensive line dynamic, especially the offensive tackle, because my time covering Jimmy Garoppolo, I know durability is a concern, and you have to cover the guy from, you can do it remotely, and you just know this guy's not durable, but how I saw GM John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan build up that offensive line up front, trading for Lincoln Tomlinson, going ahead and trading for Trent Williams, and then drafting Mike McGlinchey, who was a right tackle at number 9 overall, same draft as Colton Miller. I was like, what? I'm going to go offensive line because I know how beneficial it is to Jimmy Garoppolo's success because he needs that. He needs that offensive line, and no quarterback can have success without a stable offensive line. And this is not a knock on Jermaine Illuminor. All right. I like Jermaine Illuminor. I just think, with the iron sharpens iron mentality, it's not what I would do. It's how I actually see the draft playing out. And when I say Paris Johnson, oh, no, we're not going offensive tackle. We're not going Peter Skoronski. Yeah. And Peter Skoronski, as you know, is my favorite player in the entire draft. I'm on record saying it. And, of course, he's boring. Did you see the report that they said he was boring?
I did not see that. I missed that one.
Yeah, Arthur Smith, the coach of the Falcons.
Okay,
He had an interview, and I think Mike Florio from Pro Football – what is it? Pro Football Talk, whatever.
Maybe. Yeah.
He said that Peter Skoronski said that Arthur Smith told him that his answers were boring, and he said, I don't know how to answer these questions where they're boring. And then he was on his computer, not really paying attention to Peter Skoronski, and I was like, I guess I like boring players. I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting. I missed that. I'll have to read up on that incident. Always something like that in the draft. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't care if a guy's boring. I care how he is on the field. Like, I don't care if you're I don't care as long as you're good and you have no off-field issues. I'm cool with that. I don't know. I think Peter Skoronski is going to be a really good player for the Tennessee Titans and Rand Carthon. But okay, let's go ahead and talk about it. We talked about the draft a little bit. Let's go ahead and move on. We're going to stay on the draft, of course, but we talked about obviously we talked about Tyree Wilson, but then they also picked up a tight end in the second round, and this is something I pointed out on day one. Like once day one ended, I was like, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to move up. Or sorry, once day two was in, I was like, they're probably going to trade up in the first half for like a tight end. I made a prediction the day before the draft saying that they might end up with two multiple round one picks and pick up Michael Mayer. They ultimately ended up taking him in the second. What is your take on Michael Mayer? Like, what do you think that he brings to the table? And do you approve or disapprove? Should they have gone defense?
Yeah, I don't see really how you can disapprove of this one. I'm sure there's someone out there, but to me, it seems like everyone's kind of united in Raider Nation, so to speak, that this was a good pick. I mean, it was a position of need. A lot of people thought Mayer was the best tight end of the draft. I know some people thought Dalton Kincaid too. It just depended who you asked, but had a first-round grade by a lot of teams. I'm sure to say, not just the Raiders, but of course, Dave Ziegler said he was a top 15 player on their board, which I believe fully. I think he fits well with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not to say he's the perfect prospect or anything. I think, tough kid that's going to be able to block too. I'm a little worried he doesn't create a ton of separation, but really sure hands, makes good catches. I don't know. This is the one pick that I think you have to really make a stretch to really hate on or be concerned about. I think he's going to step in right away and be a day one contributor. And they didn't give up too much to trade up and get him either. It was kind of a fair deal. So I definitely think you got to give the Raiders 2 thumbs up on the Michael Mayer selection.
We should be in the same war room. We would agree. I think that'd be a bad thing because we don't disagree on anything. But like, yeah, me and Case agree. Let's turn in the card, man. Like it's done. Egalitarian says, "What's up, Case?" See, we got people in here. They love having you on, Case.
No, I like the Tiger, Siegfried and Roy, something throwback. I like it.
There you go. First time I had you on was not even on the live stream. It was on the training camp videos. Remember that I was posting? I was like, oh, there's Case.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, the YouTube like auto generated me the thumbnail or something you showed me.
Yep, that's right. All right. So let's go ahead. So we talked about that. You're bringing great insight. So let's talk about the most controversial pick in round 3 where Trey Tucker was the selection. Can you get on board with the value here, or would you rather have them selected a cornerback, as you say, like your guy, Kelee Ringo out of Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, I was all over Kelee Ringo. That was the guy I was hoping they pick. You were right there with me. All these picks in the middle. I was like, okay, here it comes, because he visited the team and everything, but didn't end up meant to be. I know, I think even on the broadcast, some people have told me that some people started to throw a little bit of dirt on Kelee Ringo's name and maybe say he's not the most coachable, or I don't know. There were concerns with him from many teams from what I've heard. I don't know. I think the guy has all the potential in the world, but ultimately going to the Eagles. And then the third round, they don't even go with another cornerback. They go with Trey Tucker. And this is kind of the polar opposite of the Mayer pick to me. And this isn't to say he won't work out, that he's not a great kid, that he doesn't have a lot of potential, but I just think this was a big reach, and I think more than likely he would have been available at a later pick. You had more pressing needs than this. He kind of seems like a gadget player. Even that's what Dave Ziegler called him, a gadget player and a kick returner in the third round when he had mostly 5th or 6th round grades. I don't really know about this one. I hope he proves me wrong. He seemed really nice when we talked to him. Seemed like he had a good head on his shoulders, and Cincinnati was a really fun team to watch the last couple of years, and he was a big part of that. But I just don't know if the NFL potential is there for him to be a third rounder, especially on a team that has so many other needs.
No, you make great points. And it's like, this is the one question people ask me, and I was like, I can't. This, people were asking me, like, what do I think about this player? And it's like, I don't have grades on a lot of these shows. Like Jacorian Bennett, I didn't have grades on. Christopher Smith, we're going to talk about him. I didn't have grades on him. So I was like, I have to go back and evaluate that game film. Trey Tucker, I did not he wasn't even on my radar. I'll be honest with you. He wasn't even on my radar. Like, he wasn't. So, like, I'm in line with you. Like, I like the kid. I think this kid can be something special. I think what they did is they knew that us in the media would probably criticize this pick. I don't think that's any question, because all the analysts were saying, hey, look, this guy could have been had in the rounds that you just talked about. So the value wasn't there in terms of, like, now we can look back in hindsight and say the value was or wasn't there, but in real time, it wasn't there for most people. So I can get on board with what you're saying. I'm trying to get on board with how they were doing it. And my line of thinking is they took the best return specialist that they felt would give him the best chance to have long-term success because of what happened with Hunter Renfrow last year. So, which begs the question, do you think Hunter Renfrow gets traded when it's all said and done?
In my heart of hearts, I still think it probably happens. It seems like taking another slot receiver that high. I wouldn't be surprised one way or the other. It seems kind of 50-50 right now, but it really seems like they're shedding a lot of these guys they inherited. And it wasn't a super smooth first season with Hunter Renfrow. It was a big step down for him last year after signing that contract. I think he still has trade value. I think he can still be useful in the right place. I think he could be useful with the Raiders if he has the chance. And maybe they are going to give him another chance, but I would not be shocked if he's if there's one guy on the roster, you'd ask me right now that there's going to be a trade involved, who's it's going to be. I think that he would have to be the leading candidate.
Okay, so let's talk about the wide receiver room as it currently stands. All right. If you subtract Hunter Renfrow, so you have Devontae Adams, help me out here. Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Philip Dorsett, Trey Tucker. Who else we got?
And someone else too, right?
Andre Carter. Carter's there.
Okay. Oh yeah.
The kick returner.
Yeah.
DeAndre Carter. Excuse me. DeAndre Carter.
Okay, DeAndre Carter. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, there you go. Took me a second.
And then, I mean, like, where does he fit? Like, I mean, how many wide receivers are you going to keep? You're going to keep like 7 wide receivers? Like, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. I mean, maybe I do think they carried one more into the regular season last year than we thought, maybe, because both at the time both Tyron Johnson and DJ Turner made the team. So it's not unprecedented that Josh McDaniels could bring one more than we think, but yeah, more than likely it's not going to be that many.
What do you think Hunter Renfrow's value is if we trade him? 3rd rounder?
If you can get a 3rd rounder, then I can't even hate on the trade. My first thought was more of a 4th rounder, especially coming off that year. I mean, it wasn't a cheap contract they signed him to, so I would think more of a day 3 pick. Unfortunately, if you're a Raiders fan, but I think they'd be. I think if they can get a 3rd round pick, that increases the likelihood he's gone.
So Darren Waller was traded for a 3rd round pick, number 100 overall. But it's interesting because Hunter Renfrow, to me, I don't know. I thought he was going to be the next like Julian Edelman, bro. Like and Coach McDaniel said, I thought he would maybe not on that scale, but you know what I mean? I thought he was going to have a really, really good year to wipe your hands clean off of just one injury riddled season. But then he wasn't really like comfortable. Like, so I don't know. I'm fighting with myself because I like Hunter Renfrow. I know what he can bring to the table. We all know that he's a top 5 slot machine the year prior to that, right? I don't think anyone's questioning that. So like if you're a GM and you see the value of trading a guy like this, but then like you said, injuries, he had a concussion. What else did he have? Did he have some other injuries? What was it?
Yeah, maybe something ribs or something or other, I want to say.
So that is a cause for concern. I think you're right. I think ultimately is going to end up being a day 3 pick. So when it happens, I'll be like, you heard it here. Case Keefer making the case.
Or maybe he has a 2nd Pro Bowl season. Who knows? That could happen too. I mean, the guy has enough talent and heart and everything else. So it just comes down to what they want to do with him. But I think a trade is, if you're saying a trade can happen, you're wrong. It's certainly one of the options on the table right now.
Who first reported that? Do you remember?
I do not know. I don't know if I've read an actual report. I just feel like at least on my part, it's been a lot of speculation, and I assume it's been a lot of other people too. But maybe someone did report it. I missed it.
All right, so let's go ahead and we talked about some trade. I love Hunter Renfrow. I think I want him to stay, but I think I'm with you. I think he's going to be ultimately shipped off. I mean, where does he fit? Like, where does he fit? It's like it's almost like, okay, so you have all these people at one position, you can't keep them all. Someone has to get cut. So yeah, it's interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and we talked about the wide receivers. Let's talk about Aiden O'Connell. I know nothing about this dude. Like I covered him up the East West Shrine Bowl, but I'll be honest with you, like I suck at quarterback evaluations. I'm horrible. Like, don't ask me. I suck. So what are your thoughts? I'm gonna let you take the lead on this. What are your thoughts on Aiden O'Connell?
I mean, nice college player. I was really impressed with him time and again at Purdue. I'm not as much into scouting the film as you and breaking down what a guy does. So he never really struck me as like a surefire NFL guy. I figured he'd get drafted, maybe have a chance. The Raiders might have drafted him a little bit earlier than I would have thought, just because he's not very mobile. He's kind of a throwback quarterback, but that might work for Josh McDaniels. You've heard the comparisons to Brady and Garoppolo, and in some ways they make sense. It seems like another kid that's very motivated. This whole draft class, I was kind of impressed with everyone we talked to, and I'm not just saying that. It hasn't been that way every year. So I wouldn't rule out him, coming to Las Vegas, really working hard, learning from Brian Hoyer and Jimmy Garoppolo, and being at least a useful backup. He's certainly, I said Tyree Wilson didn't have the production you probably wanted to see in college. I think Aiden O'Connell's like the other end of the spectrum. He didn't have a whole lot of talent around him at Purdue, and they won the division at least once with him. He put up huge numbers all the time. Now, he wasn't a Jeff Brom offense that was kind of conducive to his strength, but I was really impressed with him in college, and I have no qualms for where they took him. And you knew they were going to take a quarterback at some point. He seemed like one they really liked in the mid rounds.
Yeah, I think on the surface, I think you can look back at this draft and say, hey, look, GM Dave Ziegler actually came out of this draft a better ball team. And I think if you do that and you build on that foundation, bringing in his guys that he wants, that's a win in everyone's book, because you're buying into the program. We always hear this term, during training camp. We're going to hear it again. These players are buying in and leaving no stone unturned. Iron sharpens iron. But at the end of the day, it's all talk until you actually translate that onto the football field on a day-to-day basis. And so the guys that we talk to, I think you see that, especially with Byron Young. I was really impressed with him. I mean, I'm a huge Alabama fan, but I was impressed in the way he answered our interview questions shortly after he was drafted. Like, he's very, very smart. Like, that's something that I really picked up on him. And I think we see that in his game too, playing the piano along the line. So yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Okay. So is there any bold predictions that you think, here we are on freaking May 4th. May the 4th be with you on this one. Is there any bold predictions that you think no one is really talking about, but probably should?
Ooh, bold predictions, man. That's tough. That's putting me. Can we narrow it down a little bit?
Okay.
I don't have just any. I can't just pull one out of thin air. I know I should, but
okay. So let's just talk about the defensive tackle room. Okay. So you have Neil Farrell, you have Matthew Butler, you have Byron Young, and then now you have Nesta, right? Of those four guys, which two or which one do you think will be ultimately the starter when training camp is over?
God, I feel like it's just recency bias, and maybe it's just the mystery that the new package they haven't seen. But I honestly was hoping by the end of the year that you saw a little bit more out of Neil Farrell and Matthew Butler. I was a little bit down on them, and I think Byron Young could come in and make a difference. It would not. I don't feel like this is as bold of a prediction as you were thinking, but as of right now, and again, it might be because we just talked to him, just saw his highlight packages, or fired up about his potential. But I guess my somewhat bold prediction will be that Byron Young is higher on the depth chart than the 2 second-year guys going into week 1 of the season.
Okay, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I like Byron Young a lot. I'm going to go with Neil Farrell. And that's me being biased, partly because Andre Carter's a good friend of mine, and I like Neil Farrell. So I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't biased toward that route. But also in an unbiased situation, I just think last year he was kind of guessing more than kind of reading and reacting. I think this year he's really going to take that leap, and people are going to look back and say, hey, this is why we drafted this guy. And also I think, again, the iron sharpens iron mentality in bringing Byron Young, who could push and will eventually push for a starting role, that's only going to fuel fire to Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell. Hey, look, man, you're not going to take my spot. We all work with each other. Iron sharpens iron, but I'd be damned if I let you take my spot. So it's going to be a camp battle, Byron Young and Neil Farrell. I think that it's fair to say when we're sitting next to each other, we're going to be like, hey, man, this guy had a really good drill work today, or this guy, kind of struggling still, or whatever the case may be. So, I think that is a bold prediction, because I think that is a good prediction as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Byron Young started. I wouldn't. But one thing that I will say is I think it's hard for any rookie to come in year 1 to year 2 with no drop off in production, because you're still learning the NFL game. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, like what film do we have to go off of to say that Neil Farrell or Matthew Butler can or cannot do something? Like there's no basis for it, really. It's a small sample size. So we'll see, man. All right. So we've been on for 29 minutes and 59 seconds. Thank you so much, Dimes, for the super chat. It says, great interview, Beast Nation. See, everyone likes you, man. All right. Have you ever I'll be honest with you again. Amari Burney. Do you know much about him? Because I don't. Not yet. I have to watch.
No, not a ton.
Okay. Okay. So I was hoping you would say yes.
Refresh my memory.
The Florida guy, the Florida linebacker who they got.
Yeah. I thought you might meant in like a specific. Yeah, he is kind of the overlooked. He is kind of the overlooked one, though. I guess I would say. I don't know. I've had a few draft discussions now. His name has not really come up till now. So I think 6th round, right? So it was a little bit out there. He seems like he would make sense in this defensive scheme, being that he came in as a defensive back. I think he actually played safety at Florida, which I might have gotten wrong at first because he was a cornerback in high school, which is crazy. Cousins with Brandon Faison, now a linebacker. We know how much Patrick Graham's gonna value those linebackers in coverage. So what I know about him, it seems to fit well with the Raiders' philosophy, but never really a guy that jumped out to me. And I did watch quite a bit of Florida and then covered them when they were here in the Las Vegas Bowl. They had their total B team and just got absolutely crushed. So that's probably not the game he wants to be judged off of anyway. But worth a flyer in the 6th round, but not a guy that super gets me hyped up, I guess.
All right, so Case, we're going to end this live stream on the 2-minute drill. We did it with you the first time around. I switched up the questions, and you just say the first thing that comes to mind. You know how we do it.
I better take a drink. I got to be hydrated for the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, man. Got to get ready for this, man. This is great, and I think this is really good value because it adds another perspective, from a beat writer. Like, you're a beat writer, Case, so like, you're really good at your job. I really value what you say. Like, what you say is like, to me, it's like, oh damn, man, it's actually going to happen, or odds are it's going to happen. Like, we play the odds game, right? Like, odds are Cases spot on. Like, no, I'm serious though. I
don't know about all that, but thank you.
We talk about betting all the time, and I tell you, I told you, I was like, man, I was talking to my girlfriend Jessica about it. She's like, I was like, dang, this when I first met, I was like, dang, this Case guy is really good. Like how I watch film is like how you do your sports bet. It's like there's like something in your brain that you're just by talking to you. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, betting is something I do take very seriously, and I mean, honestly, I've been covering and betting way longer than I've been around the Raiders. I mean, basically ever since I've been here, and kind of grew up around gambling, for better or for worse. So that is kind of in my blood, and it is something that I've had success with for many years. I mean, way more. It's now like kind of the buzz thing because of legalization across America, and there's a lot more discussion. But yeah, I've been in the trenches for a lot longer than since 2018 when it got widespread. So that is probably my one area of expertise. So I'll take that one. But as far as like scouting these guys and breaking down the film, that's all you. I do my best in other areas, but I would say betting is kind of a specialty.
Well, betting is type of a scouting because in order to get the actual, what I'm saying, you have to look at matchups, right? So it's player analysis and it's all that in between. So it's just on a different wavelength. So it's really cool. It's really, really good. All right, we're going to do the 2-minute drill with you, Case Keefer, making the case on the 2-minute drill with Case. All right, let me just get up the ticker here. And Case, thank you so much for joining. Hey, everyone loves your stuff, man. I'm telling you, everyone loves your stuff here. So go follow my guy, Case Keefer, after the show ends. It's in the description box here on YouTube. It's also on all my social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I plugged you everywhere, bro. So hopefully they follow you, because if they don't and they don't like the color green, that's their problem, bro.
Thanks.
All right, this is getting ready. Getting to know Case and the Beast Rider 2-minute drill. All right, chalk talk or underdog?
Underdog?
Yeah. Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Over under or money line?
Money line.
Calls or texts?
Texts.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Work vacation or work free holiday?
Work free holiday, I guess.
Okay. Ninjas or pirates?
It's a question I haven't pondered too much. I'm gonna go with pirates. They like being on the sea.
All right. New phone or new laptop?
Well, I just got a new phone and I haven't had a new laptop in like 10 years. So I need to get on my bosses. I'd say new laptop.
All right. Sauce Gardner or Pat Surtain Jr.?
Oh, well, I'm biased on this one. As I think I told you, it was like week 3 last year. I was really touting Sauce Gardner 18-1 to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He got off to somewhat of a slow start. Cashed that ticket, so that's always going to be my boy. I don't know who. If I was running the team, I'd have to take a step back and take my bias out. But I'm going to say Sauce Gardner because he delivered for me. But Pat Surtain is pretty unbelievable too.
Okay, hot weather or cold weather?
I mean, I live in Vegas and I've stuck here, so clearly hot weather. I'm not all about the cold. Hot all the time.
Okay, Charles Woodson or Champ Bailey?
This is another bias, and I'm sorry to the nation, but I grew up a Georgia fan. My dad's from Atlanta. Love the Dogs. And Champ Bailey was one of my favorite players when I was a little kid. I mean, he had to be. So I really hope I'm not excommunicated from the silver and black fandom, but it's Champ Bailey to me all day. I love Champ Bailey.
You won't, because they know I'm coming from San Francisco, so they know how I feel about some.
Okay, I mean it's more for their college days than their NFL days. Honestly, I interviewed Charles Woodson for a little bit when he went into the Hall of Fame, and great guy. I have nothing bad to say about him. I've never talked to Champ Bailey actually, but just his days at Georgia, you're probably not going to find a cornerback that I'm picking over Champ Bailey. That's my guy.
Yeah, that's actually true though. That's actually true. Water or soda?
Water. I've mostly dropped the soda habit over the years. The one healthy thing I've done, I guess. I'm all about the water.
Yeah, me too. Meat and potatoes or shellfish and butter?
Ooh, this is another one that's progressed over the years, but I might go with the shellfish and butter, just because I'm not a big potatoes guy. I love the meat. Uh-huh. If it could be meat and butter, I can combine the two and go with those. But yeah, just for the combination, I'll go with the latter.
All right, March Madness or CFP, College Football Playoff?
Ooh, I mean, I like football overall better, but just for the singular tournament, I have to go March Madness. But if we do this again in a couple years after the 12-team playoff that we're going to, maybe it'll change. But right now, it's got to be March Madness. And speaking of March Madness, my alma mater today, Kansas, got maybe the best transfer ever, Hunter Dickinson. And talking about betting, we already talked about. I ran out to the last sports book in town that had a 15-1 on Kansas. A year ahead of time. This is how you have to be thinking if you want to bet at a high level. I thought 15-1 is way too high, so got a big bet on my Jayhawks to win the national championship next year at 15-1. Look out! We should be the preseason number 1. Looking like a really good roster coming together.
So you got some followers on here. Look at this.
Oh, thanks. Shout out, Daniel. I'm not too active on Twitter, unfortunately, but I'll try to get better, especially during the football season. Need to amp it up a little bit.
All right, so let's go ahead and we stopped on March Madness. So Jacorian Bennett or Trey Tucker?
Jacorian Bennett. I kind of told you what I thought of Trey Tucker.
Yeah.
Jacorian Bennett, at least we know he has 2 really good skills, the speed and the ball skills, which I do like. That they kept harping on how much they wanted guys that could make a play on the ball. It looks like that's the one sure thing he could do. So they stuck true to their word there. That wasn't a smokescreen. I'm going to go with Jacorian. Sorry, I was answering these like rapid 2-minute drill style at first. Now I'm all long-winded, but Jacorian Bennett for that one.
No, it's good. It's good to give an explanation. There's nothing wrong with it. I call it the 2-minute drill just call it the 2-minute drill, but we can go past 2 minutes. It doesn't matter. I do it all the time. I talk way too much, so it's good hearing you talk for a second. All right. Just calling myself out. I don't care. Stop using. Okay, here's one. Stop using paper or stop using plastic.
I would rather stop using plastic. I'm still like pretty old school. Like if you looked behind me, I just got like notebooks full of like betting stuff and numbers and all kinds of crazy stuff. I still do a lot of stuff by hand, so I don't think I could live without paper.
That's like your beast receipt. That's the case receipt right there. I'm serious. Yeah. Making the case. That literally is making the case. Like literally, we had no idea where this conversation was going. You said definitely need my paper, and you bust that out.
Yeah, and that's one of many. I got several around here. I don't know. I just like I like putting pen to paper a little bit. It helps me. I think it helps my memory and just the way I've always done things.
That's actually a good point, because I think it's like muscle memory, right? Muscle memory. Yeah. You remember things like, oh, shoot, I remember that I wrote that, right? I remember I said that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, Case, I hope you had a lot of fun on Don't Miss the Beat from the Beat. This is a Thursday segment that I do every day or every Thursday at 6 p.m. So hopefully we can have you on more often and get a cameo from your son again.
Oh yeah, well, he's around here somewhere. Can't wait to see who else shows up on Thursday. It was a good chatting with you and a good time for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think Cassie's going to be hopping on pretty soon too. We have a solid lineup coming up. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I just want to give other beat writers a fresh perspective because I want to give them love too, right? People that we work with. So whoever's willing to hop on and just talk ball like you did, that's great. And so you bring another fresh perspective. Like who doesn't like the color green? Like honestly though, I'm being serious though, right? No, like whether they like you or hate you, it's like, do you like green? Like, of course you like green. Everyone likes the color green. Everyone likes money. Like, so why not follow Case for his insight? Because he's going to make you money.
I mean, yeah, I wish it was always that easy. I mean, that you have good days, you have bad days. But yeah, I do have at least one during football. It'll be more, but I have one gambling column that runs every Saturday in the Las Vegas Sun. I think we had a really bad week last week. Actually, that's what I'm saying. It's just you got to stick with the long term. You got to stick with it long term. Like if you look at our full results, there we're up a whole lot of money. So I have been successful over the long term, but not always going to be promised to be green every time. But yeah, if you want to check that out at LasVegasSun.com. Should be able to find my stuff pretty easily there.
It's like a stock. It's just like a stock. You're going to have highs and lows, but if you work the long game, you're going to look a lot better than if you just tried to short the stock like initially, right?
Yeah, so and it's hard sometimes. I think mindset's a big thing. You like can't overreact to the short-term swings, whether those are awesome swings and you feel like a genius and you're rolling in cash, or when you're just bleeding money. You got to realize that that's all part of it. There's a lot of variance in something like sports betting. So yeah, lots of ups and downs, and dealing with those is a big thing.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. Remember, I was like telling you about my over under. I was like 16 of 19, like 87%. Like,
oh yeah, you're super hot. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm not betting anymore. Like, what happened? Oh, yeah, not good.
Yeah. I mean, for like a bet like that's minus 110 on both sides. I mean, the absolute best people in the world are getting like 56% long term, just to put it into perspective. So, okay. If you can, hit more than 52.5%, you're going to be making money, and that's what you got to look for. So, yeah, you never get too high, too low. That's what I kept saying.
Well, thank you so much, Case. I had a lot of fun on this show, and again, like I said, man, thank you so much for hopping on. It truly is an honor. I know you say it's not, but it really is. Look, you didn't have to take time out of your schedule to be here, and so I really appreciate it, honestly, for real.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot, man. And then the comment I just saw flash by about picking every game. I do. LasVegasSun.com. Oh, yeah. I think ever since maybe 2013, 2014, I've picked every single NFL game against the spread. There's a few websites that track everyone. I think pickwatch.com. I think twice I've finished top in the nation against the spread record. To pat myself on the back a little bit, I guess. But
do it.
The Raiders, it's a little bit different. Last year, I think I had a really good handle on the Raiders and did well. I think it's like 2 years ago. You'd think being around the team, you'd have a better idea, but I just could never get my head around them. So just because we're around them every day doesn't necessarily mean those predictions are better than the others. But certainly, again, this season, I think it'll be like the 12th, 11th, 12th, 13th season. I'll pick every NFL game against the spread, and you can find that at LasVegasSun.com.
Making the case. Look at that. Case, I like it. No, so your column runs, give it to me. I'll share it.
Yeah. I mean, right now I just have one sports betting column every week on Saturdays, but during football season, I believe the NFL one, it'll be on Thursdays because we pick every game going into the Thursday night game. So yeah, NFL betting columns on Thursday and Saturday during the season. A lot of work during the season with all that and the Raiders, but looking forward to getting it back fired up. I mean, football, I bet just about every sport, honestly, at this point, but football is still my favorite, and it's what everyone wants to talk about. A little bit tougher to beat because there's so much money in the market, but yeah, it should be fun to get it back going here soon. I've already made some future bets. I'm never totally out of it. I'm really heavy on college football, especially the Heisman already, but I got some NFL bets.
You picked the Heisman already?
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of guys for the Heisman already. So yeah, we'll
don't reveal it yet, unless it's already up there. But don't reveal that yet.
No, I've written about some of them, but not all of them.
Who do you have? That
you're Super Bowl or Heisman or what?
Yeah, Heisman.
Okay. I think the lowest guy I bet is the most recent guy I bet. I have not written about this one, but I bet Michael Penix Jr. From Washington. I think earlier this week at 20-1 at Circa. I really like Washington this year. Kalen DeBoer is such a great offensive coach. I think he's like a bottom first-round guy right now if you look at some of the early mocks, but I would not be surprised if he rises up the rankings here. That's the shortest guy I've bet. So that just shows you when I say I have 10 bets, I mean, a lot of them are like 200 to 1, 80 to 1. I'm looking for long shots, guys, that are going to see their odds decrease a lot. Probably two of my favorite ones I made, and I probably shouldn't even say this. It's like past posting. I don't think you can get this price anymore, but I think Georgia is going to be the best team in the nation again. I am biased, but you just saw the talent they had. They're going to be number one. Their starting quarterback is going to be Carson Beck. If you can get the starting quarterback on the number one team in the nation at 50 to 1, like Carson Beck was a couple weeks ago, you have to. So I got Carson Beck at 50 to 1, and I'm also high on Texas this year. So I got Quinn Ewers, another draft guy, at 25 to 1. That's something you could still get out there. I think 25 to 1, that's pure value. Doesn't mean it's going to win, but the guy, by like week 2 when they play Alabama, and I think he's going to have a good game against Alabama, no offense, he's going to be a lot lower than 25 to 1. So there's three realistic ones for you. Penix, Ewers, and Carson Beck are all guys I've bet so far.
Dude, you talk like how when I talk about film and stuff, that's how exactly what they're used to. I'm serious. Yeah. Look at what people are saying, because they're used to how I talk. They love you. Like, these people love you, dude. They love
you. I mean, it's our passions, right? Your passion's doing like that, and I love the betting stuff, so I could talk about it forever.
That was great, Case. No, we got to have you on, but thank you so much, Case. That was Case Keefer breaking it down like a Albert Einstein mad scientist. Like, that is crazy how you did that. I was like, what? Whoa! And you're just like, boom, boom, boom. I see. That's what I'm talking. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I was waiting for, Case. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. They need to see that.
Glad I could deliver. Thanks for having me, man.
All right. Well, that was Case Keefer, everyone. Thank you so much, Case, for joining the dark side of Beast Rider on Don't Miss the Beat from the Beat. All right. So we're going to go ahead and continue this live stream. We've been on for 47 minutes. I just want to give a special shout out to D Menace for sending me a super chat. If you'd like to support the channel and everything we do here on Dark Side of Beast Rider, if you like the guests that I bring on the Don't Miss the Beat segment, on the Blitz pickup segment, you guys like what we bring to the table from a silver and black content creating Beat Rider perspective, here it is. Here in the DOB, holla at the Beast Nation. Look, there's a lot of things we can talk about. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. There's 25 of you guys watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what I have to say. We have 28 likes. We should have a lot more likes than this. Look, the value here that we brought to you today in making the case with Case Keefer on Don't Miss the Beat from the Beat is something that adds value. It adds value here. So let's go ahead and take a moment to like the video. And if you're unable to send a super chat or super sticker, that is free 99, right? So again, like the video, spread the word to all your family and friends about the DLB that we're trying to build here on YouTube and raising this community up by using social media engagement as our platform on the respective channels that we're on. So again, this is great stuff, right? This is all great stuff. Everything is just awesome here. Everything is just awesome here and all about the good vibes only, right? And that's Case Keefer. He actually sits right next to me at Raiders headquarters. So he's one of the beat writers. I know there's people saying, such and such says he's a beat writer or like fake accounts I'm seeing. They're like beat writers. Like, that's not even a real account. Like, what are we doing? Has a verified blue badge. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm like, dude, how do you even know that guy's a beat writer? Like, there's no real picture. Like, what are we doing? All right, so I'm going to go ahead, and there's 24 of you guys watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up, please. It will help push the algorithm to other like-minded nation like yourselves. And then again, also, we're trying to grow, right? It'll be a recommended video to other nation. And so there's a lot of different things here that we can go in. There's a lot of different platforms I can be on, right? But why do I choose to be on YouTube? Why do I choose to be on YouTube out of all the other social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter? I'm on all those platforms. Why do I consistently come back to YouTube? Because Beast Nation, the DOB fam, the good vibes only that we're trying to strive for from a beat writer perspective, bringing a different flavor to the table on the daily. Despite the content stealers out there, we're going to keep grinding it out. We're going to still keep pushing. I say we, because we're an army, right? We always say salute, 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 right? We always say Beast Nation. So share my stuff. Talk to all the nation who don't know about me. Like literally, I'm still new. I'm still a startup. But I need the Beast Nation and the DLB fam to stand up and say, hey, look, Beast is putting up some good stuff. Who is Beast Rider? He's a beat writer for the Raiders. Like that in itself should be the selling point. Like, right? Right? But then the value that I bring on top of that, man, the cream will always rise to the top. That's a known fact. And so the cream of the crop is the value that you'll find here, because at the end of the day, getting it from a beat writer perspective, whether it be me, Case, whoever we have on here, that you're getting the inside information from someone who's there Monday through Friday at Raiders headquarters. Just across, I can literally see Raiders headquarters from my house, like literally. So I work right here. Like I'm there Monday through Friday. I'm there during every single training camp. I'm there for practice. I'm there asking Coach Graham questions, asking Coach McDaniels questions. I'm there asking Coach Lombardi questions. I'm there interviewing the players in the locker room. I'm there up in the press box on Sundays on game days, or Monday or Thursday, whenever they play, right? And then interviewing the players afterwards and coaches afterwards. So the beat writer perspective that you're going to find here, that's why I wanted to do this show, because I think there's a lot of space to be had in terms of where we can mutually grow. And I think by having beat writers on, you're getting another perspective. And you may not always agree with me, right? And you may more in line be agreement with them. But at the end of the day, at least you're getting that content. And where else could you find that on a daily, weekly basis? Nowhere. Except here in the DLB. So that's what this segment show is tailored made for the beat writers. And I hope you guys liked it, right? R Vegas says the Beast Nation show. Great show, Beast. Write that down. Flinko vs. Flinko says the AFC conference is so deep, we're going to need at least 11 wins each year just to sniff the wild card. We got my guy Jeff KC in here. Hey, man, Jeff is a good guy. I like him because he's always respectful. So he says Chiefs, and I'm not going to doubt him. Look, the Chiefs are the standard. And Jeff knows how I keep it 100 in here. He knows because he's been following me dating back to the Niner days. I have all fans in here, like literally every single fan. Why? Because you have to talk about all 32 in order to talk about the team that we're covering, because you can't say one player is good or bad without knowing the dynamics of the other 31, right? So we talk about guys like Nick Bolton. We talk about when Tyree Matthew was on the team, Juan Thornhill, Nick Sorensen, Chris Jones. We can talk about him. We can talk about George Karlaftis, which I talked about to obviously Coach McDaniels when they were getting ready for the Chiefs on the Monday Night Football game. I say, hey, man, when I run the game film, I see George Karlaftis out of Purdue being a really, really good edge rusher, really, really good sound technician of the game at the point of attack. What do you see in this game, right? And he's like, oh, man, that's actually a guy we scouted in the pre-draft process. I know exactly where you're going with this, Beast. So it's really fun. We can talk about Creed Humphrey out of Oklahoma. We can talk about Orlando Brown Jr., who's not even there anymore. Sorry, Brett Veach, you traded him. But he's a left tackle. He's a left tackle. Wanted to be paid big money. That's why GM Eric DeCosta for the Baltimore Ravens said, no, we have Ronnie Stanley there. We're not going to pay you left tackle money to play on the right side just because he fractured his ankle against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Are you kidding me? People don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going back 2 years talking about this off the top of my head, but don't tell me that I don't know about all 32 NFL teams. Come on now. Let's talk football. R Vegas says, Beast, you will get there. Just remember us all on the way up. Look, I remember everyone. Just like when I was with the Niners and we became the largest independent Facebook page in the world. Okay. Largest. 240 something thousand fans on Facebook. That's how big we got. So I know we can do it, the DOB. I know we can do it because it's trending actually faster. And I kept notes. I kept the receipts. I know exactly. This is not my first rodeo. I know exactly. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't know where this was going. I wouldn't move here from the Bay Area if I didn't think I had the passion to do what I do and formulate my analysis in a way that is different from the Raider. I mean, there's a whole thing to this, right? There's a lot of different layers. Like, what do I bring to the Niners that was different? It was my game film breakdowns. It was my presser questions. It was the way I see things from a different lens. Same thing applies. I say, oh, I'm going to use this blueprint because it worked, and translate that, hopefully being a beat writer for the Raiders. And here I am. So again, it wasn't something that was an easy transition. And it's always going to be a work in progress. But at the end of the day, like, the blueprint's been set. And that's how we got big. Predictions, right? Predictions with mock drafts, predictions with who's going to win, predictions with, before fantasy football was big, I was predicting down to how many yards a player is going to get, how many tackles a guy's, how many completions a guy's going to throw. Because in the Bay Area, you can't bet, but you can play fantasy football. So that's how we got big and start hitting. Boom, 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 boom. Where does that come from? Evaluating the game film, right? So that's why I'm saying I'm not afraid to put my base receipts on the line and call myself when I get it wrong. Look, do I get it wrong? Case even said it. Like, we're not going to get it right 100% of the time. Like, that's just nonsense. Jeff says, cool. I like my guy, Jeff. He's a good guy. He's always cordial here in the DOB, and he's welcome here anytime. Anytime. He's been with me for, Jeff, you've been with me for how long? 3 years, right? 3-4 years? Probably longer. Flinko versus Flinko says, that's what I said. Wildcard, we can't pass the Chiefs just yet. See? Keeping it 100. We are still fighting holes in the roster. They're out winning Super Bowls, playing ring around the rosy. Oh, man. I saw that from up in the press box. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, and people say that's disrespectful, that's showboating, that's whatever. Hey, look, if you don't like it, this is what I was always told as a player and from when I coached. If you don't like the way some other team's doing something, stop it. Don't complain about it. Stop it. Shut them up. Stop it. Can't stop it? Don't complain. That's on you. Jeff says, yeah, but long time. And that's what I like about here. So we're all about good vibes only. Look, people follow me for my player analysis and evaluations. Niner fans still follow me. Chiefs fans still follow me. Panthers fans still follow me, right? Keep pounding. Falcons fans still follow me. Denver Broncos fans still follow me. Steelers fans, when I worked for SI, still follow me. So Cardinals fans still follow me. So, I mean, we have literally every single team. The only other team that I think we don't have in here is like the Browns, the Jaguars. I've never seen a Jaguars fan in here. Never seen a Browns fan in here. Never seen a Bengals fan in here. But we have Eagles fans in here, which is good. We have Cowboys fans, of course, that are in here. And once they see the vibe, they're like hella respectful. And then like once they go in other chats, it's like free reign, like whatever. But as long as you keep it respectful, everyone is welcome. That's what the DOB vibe is supposed to bring. Like, you foster good vibes at the end of the day. So that's my guy, Jeff KC, man. He always keeps it cordial in here. So, as you know, he's been here with us for a while. So my hat's off to all you guys. But we've been on for 58 minutes and 11 seconds. I'm going to take a break because, again, we've been on for a while. I just got to... Whoa, that was crazy. I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get some water, come back up because, again, I'm parched. I'm thirsty. I talked for an hour straight. So if you guys want to send me a super chat in between this 5-minute break, let me know and send me a super chat. And also, if you want to be heard or given a shout out or have a question, you guys can send me a super chat. Those questions will be answered first, but I am going to get to everyone because I want to leave no stone unturned. And again, this is where social media engagement is encouraged. But if you have the opportunity or if you'd like to donate to the channel, you can also do that through a super chat here on YouTube or in the description box of every Venmo, of every static video or live stream or video that I make on YouTube. There is a Venmo in the description box. So the Venmo is linked in my Venmo account is linked there. You guys can send me donations there. And I get a lot of that through there. I think I got 3 of them as my phone was going off. It's over there. So again, sit tight. If you guys want for me to continue talking to you guys today on this Don't Miss the Beat podcast, I'll be doing that. Just give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and get some water and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. I just get some water, guys. Literally, when you talk so long, even when we have two people on, it takes a lot out of you. Like literally, you saw Case get some water. You saw me get some. It takes a lot. We make it look easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. All right, so let's go ahead and get to some of your questions, right? So there's some questions here. Just 17 of you guys liking this right now or watching the video. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what we have to say here on this Don't Miss the Beat podcast. As we had Case Keefer on earlier on. And again, if you guys are watching the replay, you guys can send me a super thanks if you guys want to donate to the channel. Also, if you guys are watching the replay, if you guys have a Venmo account and you want to send a Venmo donation, you guys can do that. A lot of you guys, I just got 4 people doing it on Venmo. So that was really cool. Thank you so much. Received a lot of good words and feedback from that. I guess you guys like what I bring to the table. You guys really value my game film breakdowns and my presser questions. I mean, that's basically what the thank you Venmo donations were for, and just keeping it 100, and unfiltered, and not one comment said, I like how you praise yourself when you get things right, but then also call yourself out when you get things wrong. He says you have the huevos, as he says, that I really respect. So I appreciate that. So thank you so much for all those Venmo donations and the super chat and super stickers. So yeah, if you guys want to donate, we've been on for 1 hour, 6 minutes and 14 seconds. If you guys want to donate to the channel, please be sure to do that through a super chat. And you guys can do that here on YouTube. I just want to give a special shout out to the people that already done that, which is D Menace 4200. He says, great interview, Beast Nation. So yeah, thank you so much for starting off that super chat train. I really, really appreciate it. And we're going to get to some of your questions. I want to leave no stone unturned. And again, you guys don't have to send me a super chat. I'm not saying, hey, I'm not going to answer your question unless I get this. No, I never do that. So I will say this. I do value likes, like that's free, right? So there's 20 people watching right here. If you have not liked the channel yet, or if you haven't subscribed to the channel but watch all my stuff, please be sure to do one or the other, and or both, because at the end of the day, it's going to help me out, right? And if you guys want me to continue doing this, well, you're going to have to help me out, and that's free, right? I'm not asking for a penny. And so if you guys are watching my daily content grind on a Monday through Friday basis, and you like what I bring to the table, send me a like. A like is worth 1,000 hugs for me. I mean, a little goes a long way. It really does. So please like the video. Please rewatch all my other videos, because that also helps the algorithm. So that's why I say you don't want to miss a beat from a guy on the beat, right? And I'm a guy on the beat. And so again, let's say you miss something, right? Because we push out a lot of good live streams, right, on a day-to-day basis on Monday through Friday. So all you guys have families, right? Majority of you guys have families or busy with work or whatever the case may be. Everyone has a life. And so I want you guys to go back and watch the previous live streams, because a lot of the questions that you'll have going into a live stream, we have already covered. So a lot of people, what they do is they watch the replay and then they leave a comment. And I always get back to the comments. That's how you know that I'm always on top of it. So even though if you're not watching this live 2 days down the road, 4 days down the road, 2 weeks down the road, it's still relevant. There's no expiration date on my live streams. So watch every single live stream as if you're listening in your car on the way to work or coming home in traffic. If you're from the Bay Area or in LA traffic's bad, just like the Bay Area. You already know. Why not catch up on the DOB live streams here? Right? Why not? All right. So we've been on 1 hour and 8 minutes and 51 seconds. Good live stream today, guys. What is going on today, by the way? Because we had a lot of people on here, right? We had a lot of people on here. And remember during the mock draft, how many people did we have? We had like 100 people on, and then like they were like, let me write this down. Phil Romero had a question, says, Beast, are the Raiders going to sign one more cornerback? I feel like we could use a veteran back there. Yeah, well, if you guys haven't heard the news, Rock Yassin was signed by GM Eric DeCosta and the Baltimore Ravens. And again, Marcus Peters is a free agent, so that's why they kind of had to fill the hole there. And they have teaming him up with Marlon Humphrey at a Roll Tide role, number 44. All right. So, like, there's a game of musical chairs here. Why didn't they bring back Rock Ya-Sin? Well, if they were going to bring back Rock Ya-Sin, they wouldn't have signed Duke Shelley. They wouldn't have signed David Long. They wouldn't have signed a Brandon Faison, right? They wouldn't have gone out and obviously different position, but shore up the defensive backfield and sign Marcus Epps from the Philadelphia Eagles, right? So again, there's layers to this. You don't just go out and say, hey, look, are you going to bring back this guy on a 1-year deal when you brought in 2 or 3 other guys on 1-year deals? Like, it just doesn't make financial sense. I don't think those guys would sign those 1-year deals if they knew that, hey, look, what is the cornerback room going to look like? I'm signing a 1-year deal. There's 3 other teams fighting for me. Why would I sign here as opposed to those 2 other teams or 3 other teams? Yeah. But that's why we're here. All right. So we've been on for an hour and 10 minutes. I want to talk about Amari Burney for a little bit. So I was watching some game film of him. And Amari Burney, and again, smash the like button if you guys haven't already. It will definitely help me out a lot. There's 32 likes right now, and there's like 20 of us watching now. Give it a thumbs up, and then let's help push the algorithm a little bit. Let me just catch my breath, and I'm going to take a break a little bit, and then we'll get started. Arvera says, show your love for Beast. Press the like all the time. Yeah. I like the emojis. Show your love for Beast. Press the like button all the time. Yep. Still at 32, man. So let's get some likes up before we go ahead and move on. And then we'll get started. We got time. As I always say, we got time. 21 of us watching right now. 1 up 1. So hit that like button. We're waiting to hit the like button. All right, so here we are. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, Amari Burney, right? So I'm like looking at this kid, and I'm like, I was talking to Case, hey man, what do you know about him? Because honestly, I don't know much about him. I'm watching game film on Amari Burney, and to me, he's a very, very he's tough, he's physical. He's not as sideline to sideline as I would have hoped. But again, I have to watch the game film. So I just started. So I'm not going to say with a strong conviction, yeah, he has no sideline to sideline presence like a Deion Henley. I'm not going to say that. But when you watch Deion Henley, you see a difference in his game. Obviously, one was drafted in the 3rd round as opposed to being drafted in the 6th. But I have to evaluate a little bit more when evaluating the game film. And what I see right now, time will tell. Today is Raiders Day. May the 4th be with you. Yup, Dark Side of Beast Rider. What you know about that life? All right, so I think because of the playoffs, I think there's not much going on in this live stream. So I'm going to tune out of this live stream. Watch more film. Again, there's only so many hours in a day. Had there been more people on right now, I would have kept going. But because there's so much game film that I have to watch in order to formulate the analysis for tomorrow, our 4th and goal segment. And again, we have in the description box below, if you're watching the replay, you guys can send me a Venmo donation, right? More people are doing that way than any other platform because, again, I think people want to keep things kind of private. So if you guys choose to do that and you want to send me a Venmo donation, it's in the description box below here on YouTube of every video that I make. So also it's in the channel art and description here on YouTube. So whether you're watching on Facebook, whatever the case may be, you can subscribe. You can send me a Venmo donation at Beast Rider. And I'm getting a lot of those every day by the day. So again, you guys can do that, or you guys can send me on every live stream a super chat or a super sticker through YouTube. All right. Another way you can send me a donation. People are asking how do you send a donation when you can't watch the live stream because you guys have a live. And so I'm getting DMs on that, and they're like, "Oh, I wanted to send you a super chat, but I couldn't catch it live." I was like, "That's okay." They're like, "What do you mean?" Well, let me tell you. So there is a heart icon after every video that I create, and that is called a super thanks. So if you guys want to send me a super thanks on the replay, that you can't watch live, you guys can do that too. And Mika from Germany always sends those. And I get a few others when I watch the replay. So again, you guys don't even have to send me a donation, right? I know times are tough. You guys can just send me a like, and that's just as good. That's just as good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and basically what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to figure out some things as to how we can make the stream better, right? How can we make this stream better? Like, that's what I want to know. How can we make this stream better? And so hopefully that helps out a lot. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. And like I said, wouldn't be here without you guys in my corner. We're going to end this live stream on a good note. We'll be back on tomorrow for our 4th and Goal segment, talking all things silver and black as it pertains to the draft class. So again, I have to run the grades. I have to run the film study in order to have a conviction about what I'm talking about. Just, Case says, he's passionate about sports betting. He's like, man, you're passionate about your game film study and scouting and how you break down players and formulate your analysis when reporting on the team. So again, everybody does it a different flavor, right? Not better or worse, it's different. Case is really good at the sports betting side. And again, without even knowing, he's doing player evaluations on the daily, right? Matchups, who's going against who, how's that going to affect the line, right? There's movement there. So all these layers to how people see things from a different lens is why I'm having this Thursday segment called Don't Miss a Beat from the Beat, because it's very important to know what's going on from their perspective other than mine. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Take care for now. Have a good night. Beast Rider out.